must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, Sorcerer Supreme, right here and every Saturday night on truthfrequencyradio.com, where we deliver the meat and the potatoes, right? All right, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is Fearless. I'm Frank Castle, trying to just have a little bit of fun and loosen up a bit as the show begins, because tonight we have a special guest, and he's my etherical translator for this evening, since Paula is in upgrade mode and has been slammed face first into the cement. Thus, we took her inside and threw her into bed. And by cement, I mean etherical cement. All right, so she's down, Nick's in. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling spectacular, brother.
Excellent. Before we start the show tonight, I want to say, Chris Gio, Cherie Gio, I love you guys so much. I'm super thankful and grateful for the ability to be on Truth Frequency Radio and to be part of the family, to develop Fearless and bring the family forth. This is fantastic. That was a lot of F's right there.
Yeah, thank you guys. Love you both.
Yes, and shout outs to everybody in the chat room and Fearless family. What is up? Hope you guys are doing great. Don't forget to check out IamWeAreFearless.com. We got a lot of great artwork from Nick and a lot of other artists as well. Mm-hmm. You know, my cousin will choke slam me if I don't say check out Tony's stuff and Shaman Ron. And Sven's stuff. But yeah, Nick has been with us for a while, from the very beginning, and been doing some artwork. How's the art coming? How's your art life? My
art life is just work right now.
Right?
Just right now. Yeah, I'm working on me for the last couple months, so no art.
Okay, we're going to do this.
Oh, geez. Here
you go. He has the same Paula issue. You know what? I got something for you, a gift. I got you a gift.
Mic stand.
Oh,
wonderful.
Look at this. We could be matching.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Brittany. I know you're probably bugging out while we're setting up.
There we go. Look at that. Now you like Mick Jagger, right? I'm cool like Jagger.
You got to put
I had
the scarves on there.
I had stuff all on it, and I said, let me take it off. I don't want to get him nervous.
Right.
So one of the things we want to do, shout outs to Shaman Jimmy, by the way, killing his ascension right there. He's already there. But, one of the things I wanted to discuss, it's been, you just said it before the show, a year.
Yes. Yeah. I came here to drink ayahuasca last September.
And how did that turn out for you? Like, was it good?
It was the most amazing, eye-opening couple days of my life. To start with.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was horrified going into it. I remember telling you if I died to call my mom and tell her, oops.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't think I died.
I think you died a couple of times.
Yeah.
When you were under. We all die a little.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We find out that dying is actually changing frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not actually dying. You just jump out of one plays into the next.
Yeah, we killed a little fat kid.
So one of the things that was really incredible in your first time, now you've had tried DMT before.
Yeah, I'd been extracting it and smoking it for a year or two before finding you guys and coming out here.
How did you find us?
Google.
You just really Googled us?
I Googled ayahuasca. I wanted to go to Peru. That was my thing. I was going to go to Peru and drink ayahuasca last year.
Right.
And I was, just Googling, looking for ayahuasca, and came along a video of you and Chris. And
was it me with the towel on my head?
No, that was the second one that I found. The first one was you and him talking about something.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Right, like typing in something as general as ayahuasca and as big as that is, or whatever, and then to be up in that list immediately, I would have never thought. But at that time, there weren't a lot of people coming out.
Right.
Right, like who was out there doing it? Chris Gio. And he dragged me on board. I remember he put the 3 glasses in front of me, and he had 3 in front of him, and he's like, you know what the rule is, right? I'm like, no. He's like, don't be a pussy. And I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. I go, I'll do this all night, right? And then we just went back to back to back. And I went, holy shit. Yeah, like, wow. But that's what breaks you open. Right. Now, during your experience, I remember, didn't at the height of your experience, we smoke?
Yes.
Right? And where'd we wind up?
On a ship.
A spaceship.
Yeah, I was on a ship.
And we managed to discuss, because I took a giant hit, collapsed, and then got up. And I was looking for the oils, and I'm like, okay, so you said I want the full service kind of thing. So I was like, oh, you mean the energy work? You got to let me in. You're like, yeah, I'll let you in. And then I go, yes, just agree that this is okay.
Right.
But I was looking at you, and the top of your head was open, and there were 4 panels. It looked like the top of a Simon Says coming out of your head, and the flaps were open, and then we had 2 giant cables connected in. And it looked like a jump starting thing. And you were going, I don't know who I am right now, if I'm me or you.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, we're on a spaceship, right? I was looking for sage oil. Yeah. And then when I smelt it, I saw the computer panel light up in front of me that was connected to your head. And I could see your readouts.
Right.
And you were sitting like, what is that, thinking man?
Yeah.
Just looking at me.
Well, see, the weird thing is, because I was looking at you sitting there, but I was also looking at you from hanging on this lift that my body was hanging on.
Yes, it was on something keeping you sitting upright.
So I was seeing you. I was seeing you like that, standing there, but also sitting down next to it. So I was seeing you from here and here.
Oh yeah, the double look.
Yeah, it was very strange. And then when you were doing this with the smells around my face or whatever, and then you put the scent, and then you turn around and you work on something, some air computer, and then you come back. You saw that?
Yeah. Okay, so I was like...
Absolutely.
All right, when the smell hit me from this, the sage, because I used 2 different oils on you, and they were telling me which ones to use. And then you were like, I think this is your ship. And as the smell hit me, I saw the computer readout, and then I turned, and then I saw my... all right, I draw in coloring books. So I had like versions of coloring book stuff up on the panel. And you're like, bro, I think this is yours. And I'm like, hey... that looks like my artwork, and it was terrible. So it's mine right away. Right. Stick figure, cape, boots. Oh, that's Frank right there. Frank's been drawing on the panel again, right? And okay, and then there was a giant window out to see space.
Right. Yeah.
I thought there might have been 2, but I was staring at one, and I'm going, this can't be real, can it? And then meanwhile, I'm shamaning you,
dude. Right.
Thinking, how do I do this without alarming you? And also that night, or it was the first night you were there, I purged something. I smoked, went under with you, and something jumped out at me, and they said, watch out, you have an attachment.
You had not smoked at that time. That was the very beginning. I had just started going under, and you went in the other room and left me alone, and I was like, what the fuck? Oh. That's when I got up and walked outside with the cats.
I didn't want to scare you because I was doing the full purge in the bucket, and then I came out clean, and I'm like, okay, now we could work. But that was frightening for me. I saw it jumping on me as I went into the DMT realm, and I was like, oh no, what is this? And they took my vision away, so it got blurry, so I didn't just see it in like high HD because it was frightening. It jumped right out. But like a video game, it was almost like the way the board starts, like 3 seconds before you can move your character, it'll say, "Don't forget to get to the general and make sure you get to the flag." And you're like, "Okay, let's get him." And then 3, 2, 1, and you start. During that time, they were like, "You have an attachment." 3, 2, 1, and it was leaping at me, and I went, "Oh no!" And then I ran away from you. I'm like, "Don't let him see that. That's what we don't want anyone to see at first, because then you'll be like, okay, weirdo, right? Like, what's going on here?"
I would not. Probably wouldn't have known. I probably wouldn't have known what was happening anyway. But yeah, while you were gone, I got up and I wanted to go outside, so I went outside. And I was standing at your gate, and I was like, "Wow, it's just so beautiful." And then like 7 or 8 cats came and corralled me back into the house. I remember getting to the door, be like, "You're not coming in the house, guys." And I looked down, and they were gone. I was like, "Oh, all right." So,
yeah. Look at that.
and I came back in here, and you were coming out of the bedroom, and I don't remember what happened. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so traditionally speaking, you had a shamanic experience with a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
And during those days you were here, if this is bothering you, let me know. I'll just smoke more of it, which is beautiful. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it doesn't bother me.
All right, so you have the experience. You have the full couple of days journey. I tell you then, and I was laughing about this before with you, you're a shaman, and you're like, whatever. I'm not ready for that. I don't think that's anything I want to do. I was like, okay, man, I get it. And then we become boys. Now, you finally, a year later, it takes, and you've had multiple experiences since then.
Yeah.
But since then, there's something that you did. What was that you did that's completely different from when I first met you?
I brewed my own stuff.
What?
I made my own brew.
There you go. So you made your own.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brought you to that part?
Psilocybin.
Oh, my best friend, my closest family member.
Okay, after I left here, I wanted to drink again, but I want to say scared, but that's not the right word. There's just some reason, I was a little scared.
Reservations.
Yeah, there's something about, I just didn't want to do it alone in my house, so I was trying to get like a couple close people in Texas to drink with me, and they were just like, because it's horrifying, I guess.
It is horrifying on another level.
Right. And everybody's like, "Oh, no, I don't want to drink. So I used that as an excuse not to do it. And then the year ended. Even a couple of people who were really close to me, they sent me a brew that they made. They made me a brew and like, "Here you go, drink this."
All right. So how is that compared to when you were with me? Don't tell me who sent what did.
Right. No.
Just how was that experience?
Well, that's sat in my refrigerator for months because I was too chicken shit to do it. But this year, my goal for 2018 was 30 grams of mushrooms one time.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. So
my goal last year was ayahuasca. This year it was 30 grams of mushrooms.
You're telling me that you want to eat 30 grams of mushrooms, but you had reservations with drinking a cup of ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, high hopes. I was
okay. What is the difference in your mind between 30 grams of mushrooms and being reserved against ayahuasca?
I didn't make it to 30, so I don't know.
How about 5 grams?
5 grams? Well, I've been taking mushrooms this year, a couple grams at a time, and then I did a 5 gram night, and then I've been microdosing for this entire month. And the more I do the mushrooms, the more I get this. I'm starting to smell the ayahuasca. I'm starting to smell DMT as I'm walking down the street, and it's just starting ayahuasca. So I said, why not? And I went for it with the brew that I had in the fridge already. It's not the one that I made, but.
Okay, what was the experience of having the second one? You did the second one on your own, but it was someone else's brew.
Right.
Okay, how was that experience?
The first night I drank. All right. There's a bigger us, a higher self.
The higher self.
Right, if you want to call it. And I met that higher self for the first time in like 90, 99, 96, something like that.
Okay.
And that was a horrifying experience.
7 grams.
Yeah, 7 grams. It's coming. So I met that higher self in '96. It was horrifying because I didn't know what was going on. Now where I am, I know, and that person came again.
I thought it was an alien when I met my higher self. I was like,
I thought it was a demon. I didn't know. I knew it was me, but I knew it was because the person I was with, he was going through the same thing on the other side of the table.
Oh.
And like we both realized what happened, and like we leaned to the right, like out of the experience, and we were sober, and we were like, "Do you believe what's happening up there?" And he was like, I was like, "No, man, this is crazy." And we was like, "You ready?" And we sat back into the experience, and then we were those higher things again.
So you did a Deadpool moment.
Yes.
Right? You
yes.
broke the fourth wall.
Yeah, it was
from the experience.
It was bonkers, but it was scary. And then this time when it happened, I'm more familiar with it because of the ayahuasca and the mushrooms, and I've been meeting this part of me, and this part of me, we built kind of a relationship where now I understand who's speaking to me when I have these thoughts that tells me duck because there's a girder falling from behind me or something, you know.
Your spider sense.
Yes. Yeah, so I know, like, especially after we drank here, and then I went back to Texas for like a month. That voice was always there. It's like, hey, remember me? Don't forget this time, you know. But recently, the first day I drank, that being came in, kind of like tried my body on, like you would try on clothes at a store.
Okay.
And it was that kind of feeling. You walked around the house looking around. It's like, all right, this is okay, you know, and for about an hour, that thing was there, that being was there. And then just like a ride ending at an amusement park, you felt this like this like this dropping of levels and sober.
Right. That's you dropping back into density.
And then I was like up here, and then 1 minute later, bam, straight as, you know, waking up in the morning.
Well, they say you're allowed to try your body on, and you build your body on the other side way before.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you come here, you're allowed to have the experience. Very interesting.
It was great, dude. It was.
How was the purge?
Horrible. I drank 4 ounces of liquid the first time, and it was pretty bad purge, but nothing worse than what happened here. And then we're getting it right now. And then an hour later, because after the first purge, I lay down in the bed. And I was like, all right, here we go. It's going to start. And nothing. It was like I closed my eyes, and it was just I was walking around in every single dream that I've ever had my entire life, which was kind of strange. I was like, holy shit, I remember that. Sorry. I was like, oh, my gosh, I remember that from when I was 1 year old. Like, oh, wow, I remember that dream. And I got to relive and walk through and just like, you know, it was peculiar, whatever. It was an interesting experience.
Peculiar yet familiar.
Yes.
Right.
But then I was like, I'm not there. I want to take more. I think I texted you and you were like, go in, go for it. So I was like, all right. So I went in the kitchen and I took 1 more ounce and went outside and just looked at the stars. I was like, oh, this is great. 20 minutes later, it was the worst purge. I was like in the kitchen sink and my feet were like off. It was like I was keg standing the purge it was horrible. It hurt. I was making some weird noises. I was like, ugh. It was.
That's when you get the gurgles and your hands are twisting.
Yes,
right. Like,
dude. I thought it was all over. And
then instantly you make the comeback, right?
Yeah. As soon as it's done, I the orange juice and stood up and then the house started doing that weird DMT shimmery changing where everything was no longer my house. It was just my house on level 8 or whatever.
Yes.
And then the guy came and took over and just walked around. It was very, and while the higher me was in there, I could hear the little me like trying to talk to it, and it was just like shh.
Just let me experience it.
And it fixed everything. Like my elbow has been messed up for months. While he was in, it was gone. There was no pain.
Okay,
nothing.
so you had healing done to you.
Everything while he was in.
Right. So, well, for whatever's in up to that moment, stress and knots and twists,
nothing.
maybe
and
stress in your neck.
And I remember,
tennis elbow.
Could my muscle in my back,
right.
This and my shoulder blade, I could hardly. But while he was there, I was doing like this weird Ganesha poses and
they stretch you in like this crazy yoga, right? And you're like, what? I don't know what this is. What is this?
Yeah.
And then boom, you're better.
And I remember trying to talk to him while they were doing that, and it was just shh. Kept on saying that shh. I got it. Just don't worry about this. and that's really it.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah. And then the second time I drank, it was nothing.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
No purge.
I purged.
Or no experience.
No experience. It was a very introspective,
Right.
quiet, calm, because I couldn't hold it down. The second, I ate rue. I ate it this time, the rue, instead of drinking it. And,
Dangerous.
yeah.
That's a lot of rue.
Well, yeah, I was like four something grams, and I felt horrible the whole time. My body just didn't like it, eating it. And I drank, and I purged it.
I make my aya now that, I have the magic touch.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sludge in the bottle when it's been sitting in the fridge for a month. And people are like, how did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That must be weak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that thing is so potent. You don't want the sludge in you.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body's going to reject it. For some people, maybe the sludge the first time, you get a little bit in you, it clears you out. You should experience it to some degree.
Yeah, the first time I drank,
but it could turn you off.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Chris's bathroom, going in the bucket and in the bowl, like I had Montezuma's Revenge, sand, just for 5 minutes, and then everything was done. And then I heard you have 60 seconds, clean yourself up. Did everything I have to do.
Yeah.
I wasn't even tripping.
Yeah.
Nothing. No experience. I was like, oh, I guess maybe that's the minute I washed my hands on the towel and dried and opened that
Here we
door
go.
up. Oh my God. Lowercase G. Cherie was standing on the other side of the door waiting for me, and the hallway turned into like hyperspace. Like the lines started coming around the archways. And then there was like a buzzing and a weird thing. And she's like, you're right. And I go, oh, your hair, it's so beautiful. I go, do you know you're my sister? And she's like, yeah, you come here. And boxes were coming out of the wall. So I started trying to lean on them, and I started falling. And she grabbed me and brought me in the other room and laid me down. And that's when everything transported. They pulled me out, started healing my body. My mother, her second time in, which was really technically her first, it was like the good batch. She had the weak batch the first time. She said Aya was singing to her while 3 women worked on her shoulder, and she had the worst. We were going to the gym for 3 months. All I heard every day was how bad her shoulder is. She couldn't lift it, nothing. She was lifting like weight over her head and twisting like you were just doing, going, no, there's nothing wrong. They healed my arm and my shoulder. It was actually stress. And I'm going, I told her, she's like, oh, listen, you can't tell. She goes, Frank, you can't even tell me nothing. Aya is like my best friend, my mother, my this, my that. I'm looking at my mother going, oh, they connected. Right now, I never get the weirdo stare from my mother. She's just like, of course you would heal that. What are you, dummy? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of the one that taught you that. Technically, I'm older, but not. And she's like, listen to your mother and shut your face. But these are the experiences we go through, and then it's like when you hear my story, it's interesting, it's fun. I like to hear the story. But when I'm like, nah, you could heal yourself, because that's where I came from, the healing. I need to heal. The beings don't matter. Like, that doesn't matter to me. That when I was first coming to it, and Chris was like, oh, you're in for the Warhol. And I'm going, yeah, but my neck is broke. I need to heal. If this has any shot of getting me on that road, we need to do this now. And it instantly worked. There was no addictions. The only thing I had left was cigarette smoking, which I blew out like 1.5 years ago. Like, the mushrooms did that.
Right.
And then the mushrooms said a wonderful thing recently to me. I said, mushrooms, what are you doing to me? And they said, we're your closest relative. They showed me my my nervous system, their nervous system. And they were. It was the exact same thing. It was like just what they are and what our nervous system. It was the exact same thing. And I was going, "Oh man, this is so beautiful." And they were eradicating things from me, like that little cigarette craving you might have once in a while. It knocked it right out of me.
Right.
Matter of fact, they hit me so hard over the head, I reduced my vape from 12 to 3 in one jump. And I'm like, well, it's a little low.
Wow.
They were like, you're not gonna miss it because the flavor, and watch what happens. I just got this flavor today, and the guy was like, 3 is kind of low for you. And I'm like, nah, man, we both can see in our eyes the change. It's there.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, and I'm hitting this, and it's delicious. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so good, lowercase g. And at the same time, that nicotine craving slowly gets hit. But it goes over time, like in a few days, it's gone. Where I don't actually have it here sitting with you. That's why I've been holding it, not actually hitting it.
Right.
So it's proof in the pudding. Stuff works at the proper the proper timing.
Yeah.
right? So this was all timed out. And why I'm stretching this part a little bit into the mushrooms and stuff. We only have 2 minutes, and I want to come back from the break, and we're going to get into like you becoming like the flower in bloom.
Right.
So you've done the microdose session.
Yes.
How many days in a row did you microdose?
26, and then I skipped a couple days because
Wait, what?
26.
You're the man, bro. I would have just jumped up and hugged you if the mics weren't in the way. I'm serious.
And I say microdose.
Impressive.
Some days I microdose several times over and over.
All right, you hit that 0.45, and what happens sometimes on a microdose?
Sometimes it's a full experience. It's like I have to go lay down. I can't walk around. I like to walk my dogs or just go walking around town because I have all this energy. But sometimes it doesn't let me do anything.
Right.
It's like I'm full on like 3 gram tripping from.
When I say less is more, they keep telling me you're becoming us.
Yes.
We're becoming you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what the next step is to this journey. You're the big reveal of what you are. So I'm like, well, that means I can do all the stuff that I can do when I'm not tripping balls.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, because you're us in the form.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all those things that you've been doing since you've been doing anything with us. And I'm like, well, that's incredible. That's superpowers across the board. And they're like, here they come. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Timed perfectly. Like the synchronicity is what we should be using to lead us through the life. If we trusted more in that, we would all be our own protection from our own deception. But until that point, we are here for you, TFR. This is Fearless. I'm Frank Castle, and I'm sitting here with my main man, Nicholas Zervos. Back right after the break. Stick around.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive.
What's up, everybody? We are back. This is Fearless. I'm your host, Frank Castle, Sorcerer Supreme, right here on Truth Frequency Radio.com. We got the best Saturday night lineup ever, right? Shout outs to Ra, who is just right before us, and right after us, we have Beyond the Veil, Chris and Sheree Gio. We have Paranormal Portal, and then late night Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean. It's just stacked, bro. Stacked. Yo, what's up? It's that kind of situation you'd be in if you're messing with Truth Frequency. You don't even want to go there. Get a subscription if you like the shows. You get the show free for a week, right? And then to go back and listen to the past shows, if the person that's hosting the show isn't putting stuff up on YouTube or anything, then there's really no way for you to get that information. So if you get a subscription, and believe me, they have one for everybody's budget, you get everybody's past episodes unlocked with just any subscription. So go there, check it out on the website, and do the right thing. If you like any of the music you hear tonight, HEISTCLICK. Shout outs to Kevin. Kevin and I are doing new music. I got a new track with Chris Gio. I don't know what's going on, but the verse is done and it sounds great from my end. So we got to just figure out what's happening next. So that's 3 bangers right there, and then 6 more I'm throwing on the table. Solo album. Making the comeback just like dice. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, this is live, Don. It's definitely live. Okay, so did you answer the guy's question?
No.
Somebody had a question in the chat room.
Dawn, microdosing, yes, it has helped with the creativity and the painting. However, I'm not actively creating artwork for the past month or two. Anything outside of, just what I need to create to pay the bills. But yes, the answer is yes. It's just my art's on the back burner. My
Focus.
being is on the front burners right now.
right. One of the things I had to do is separate myself from the crowd. Okay, so as I'm teaching and learning, shout outs to my Fearless crew, my Fearless family. In the Fearless group, if you guys want to be a part of it, you come in, you can check it out. But you got to answer the question, Fearless TFR on Facebook. We host meditation sessions. We have many great leaders stepping forward, doing many great different kind of meditations and tips of the day. So many great beings there. But at the same time, everyone's at a different level, a different layer, in a different place, in a different position. It doesn't matter that you're just on the path. So when I'm getting an upgrade, it's difficult for me to teach, answer questions when I need to go down and like my operating system's down. That's when I'm just kind of angry, Frank. Like I went away for a night and I totally ruined Paula's time. And my upgrade went into full effect, knocked me literally unconscious in the floor of the casino. Like, dunk, here, Paula, carry him. And I'm like, can't, salad mouth and everything, right? So there's just, you're done. You're done. There's nothing you can do, right? Next step is just go to the emergency room, check in, they give you water, tell you to leave.
And tell you nothing's wrong with you.
Nothing's wrong with you. Yeah. Here's a $1,200 bill. So,
that's funny. Johnny just did that. He went to the doctor Friday when I left. And as I was getting on the plane, he texted me. He's like, they said there's nothing wrong with me.
Chris Gio too.
I'm 100% healthy.
Chris went to the doctor. He's like, bro, you got to check me out. He's just like, dude, you're healthy. You're literally healthy. My brother too. My brother's having high anxiety. He's like, I know there's something wrong deep inside this and that. Right. And the doctor checks him and goes, dude, you're just a little anxious. He's like, what are you talking about? A little anxious? I'm ready to tear the world a new, And then he's like, no, this is it. And I'm trying to tell my brother, who won't listen to me in any way, shape, or form, other than certain things. Because I'm the crazy weirdo guy, right? Like you turn into that guy. You hit your 40s. Instead of buying a Corvette, Frank, you decide to drink ayahuasca and then become a shaman. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You didn't buy a Ford. You didn't buy a car. You got a spaceship. Yeah, well, this is the best thing. There's a few beings. I promised when the spaceship arrives, they'll be showing up to pick them up. Right over your house. Like, dang, it's me. Like, I'm going to announce it like the bat signals. You're going to just hit your front doorstep. You're going to hear, come outside. And everyone, the whole family, like robots, are going to come out onto the lawn and look up. And I'm going to zip everybody up and go, welcome to the ship. And they're going to go, what? I'm going to be like, you, number one, to the bridge. Right? Freak everyone out. And then put them back. And then come back for the house and be like, have coffee ready. Because here I come. You always got to have coffee ready if I'm in the house. During my upgrades, I'm like, I've quit everything. The coffee's good tonight, bro. That's because I put love in it. Thank you very much. Right. So I can't stop drinking coffee and I can't stop smoking pot. I can't stop. I offset it with water and fruit. And then I have very light with the meat. Like I'm so light, it's like people are beginning to get angry at me. Like they don't want to be around me and they're kind of like, don't invite him. He's going to be a jerk. And I'm like, everything's meat on the menu, so I got to have scrambled eggs again, right? So the full changes are in full effect. Now, you're standing in front of me as a new man as well. Right. Your changes are in full effect. You're going through what I deemed as, and I talked to Jimmy about this, I said, what I went through over the course of, from Chris Gio to now, he has to do in like 2 months. Or whatever, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it takes you to get it done. But all the notes you hit, you started, okay, so back to the Fearless family with what's going on. We teach ascension things, right? So internal ascension. So what's this, what's that, what you need to do or what you should do, right? Because if I say, well, you need to do this, bro, you'll be like, you know what? Don't listen to Frank. Everybody set Frank on fire, hang him outside. Well, he'll be back. Don't worry. We'll see him in 2 or 3 lifetimes. We never go anywhere. Don't worry about it, right? So, yeah. We put up enough information in there to go forth and do it. But then where you even had your second time under Aya, third time under Aya, multiple mushroom experiences, you're like, nah. Then I see one day recently, and I have to talk about it. Boom, the mantra pops up in the room. And I'm like, who posted that? Right? Like, I usually just run through, click, tell everybody I love them, whatever. I stopped at that, and it was like, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, give that man a cigar. It's happening. And I knew somewhere it's not that you have to do mantras. Somebody said it better than I could ever say it, or maybe I've even heard Jimmy say it, okay, to the degree where it just sets you into a focus point. And then you set forth your intention. So the domes and aims or the om, you practice that until you're in a state of it, right? So you could just blink in the blink of an eye, but some people don't have a focus point.
Right.
So you have to give them, you have to say Om, and it brings you to this vibrational feeling so they can make a connection. But some people don't need to do that.
Right.
They just are. Like Paula just is it.
Right.
Right? She lives it. So she's like, I don't need to do any of this stuff, Frank. Like she never involves herself, but yet she's always involved. Like I feel she's sitting here with us, though she's having her upgrade.
So do I.
Right?
Yeah, so do I. Same
I
thing.
feel Jimmy here as well, which is pretty interesting. I know he's floating around here somewhere. But now, okay. So you've had, after your Aya experience from the Aya you had given to you by a shaman, right? Shaman gave it to you? Okay.
Yes,
it wasn't just a
absolutely.
while by night person.
No, it was very
You
trusted.
Trusted.
Yeah, very
Okay,
close,
I know who
personal.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so all right. Then you started that 27 mushroom,
No, that was
or that was before?
that was before. I started the mushrooms at the beginning of August.
Oh, so you just did this in the middle of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well, I drank the first time their brew on August 23rd.
Okay.
So I drank that one, but that because every day with the microdose.
You move fast. Look at today's date. Look, you're on my calendar. So from the 23rd to now, this whole last half of the show is going to take place about what you did next.
Right. Well, the 20.
Holy sheep stuff.
Sheep stuff. Yeah, the 23rd was when the bigger guy tried me on like a dress.
Okay.
That sounds horrible, but
A dress. Anything you could have referenced, but a dress is what you picked. Hey, it's all right. It's the sacred feminine is rising in all of us.
Right. It was a
Hopefully
sarong. How's
pretty.
that? It's a sarong.
It's
better.
It was a tunic.
Yeah. Terrible. Golly. Then the second half of that brew, I ate the brew. I drank 5 ounces to start with. I was like, I'm going all in, bah! And I had like 9 ounces left or something like that. So I drank 5 ounces, and 6 minutes later, I couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, I remember you hit me up and said, "Yo, should I drink again?"
Yeah, and then I only had 4 ounces left or whatever it was, and I waited an hour. Thought maybe the 6 minutes would be enough, and it was very light. And I lay down and turned on this playlist that Cherie had sent me, this playlist, and
She has the best playlist.
this girl is
ayahuasca playlist.
genius. Yeah.
Yeah. She spent hours putting that thing together.
She did, and she sent it to me for my first experience on the 23rd. And
They keep updating it, though.
yeah, well, it was good, but the way she said it wasn't loud enough on my speakers. But I didn't need it because I wasn't even in the room for most of the experience. So she redid it and sent it to me, and the music was good, but the potency of the experience wasn't really there because I couldn't keep it in my body. And then so I drank the rest of the stuff. I figured this, I purged once, the next one will be fine. Nothing. 6 minutes again, exactly, out. And so there's just very light visuals. When I closed my eyes, I was there. And it was showing me stuff like how to act in public, or how to act, but not in public, but in public on the ship. With these other things, it's like, this is proper etiquette. Like you have to eat with your fork over here and your spoon on this side, stuff like that. But energetically wise, not literally.
You have to get the basics down.
Right.
It's the next step. If you're going to meet them, you better know how to act in front of them.
Exactly. It was kind of like that. It was like just things I already knew, but they were like, something was like, here, you got to do it this way, and this is how you act when this happens, and you know what? And it was kind of like also like a test. It's like, what is this? It's like, oh, that's a demon, and you're like, oh, very good. It was very strange, but very introspective, fixing things inside me. Very light. I was like, all right, not too bad. And then I was out of that brew, so I had to make my own.
All right, before you jump in, Nick, have you used the mushies with the roux yet?
Well, kind of, sort of, not a full experience, Britt. I microdosed on the days that I was drinking, so kind of yes, maybe. And my microdoses are no longer little microdoses. So yeah, does that answer the question?
That
definitely answered the question. Yeah, Frank ran and got coffee and leaving the shy guy to do the steering.
No,
hurry up! There's a tree.
He was doing so good, and I looked into his eyes, and he had this. So basically, we're for those of you that have heard every episode that Nick has been on, He's been unlocking as he goes. Right now, he's been taking over so I could get up and actually get a cup of coffee. He was like in the pocket, so you're going to ride. My whole thing is to show you our lives are all changing.
Yeah.
So now we're at the point, boom, 13 and 48. What did you do?
1348. 1348. Those are my numbers.
Well,
How do you like that? How about that? And then
How
that little bing noise.
okay, so those are his numbers. I didn't even realize this. We've been talking about this for over a year. Okay, now that the synchronicities are there, I'm watching you. I'm looking at you. You lost weight. You look great.
Yeah,
You got the
Thank you.
all right. You got the shine that we get with the
alive
gnosis. Alive again. So what did you do now
He is risen.
between the 23rd and this experience of many days with the microdoses and then drinking Aya from that someone else sent you? What did you do?
I made my own.
Oh,
I made my own.
you finally
Yeah. And it was.
decided to become your own shaman.
Yes. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding,
I
ding,
had
ding,
to.
ding, ding.
I stood there and I blessed it for. It took 2 days, and I put 13.8 cups of water, in the thing, and it was a beautiful, wonderful, happy experience. I loved every second.
So
of it.
as you were creating, I remember seeing pictures that you were sending me, right? You're like, hey, take a look at this, look at this. Oh, look at this. But you were so happy, and I could feel the energy coming through. Now, I was going through a crappy upgrade. These last 3 weeks, the Lionsgate, everything, it's destroyed me. It literally tore me apart and put me back together again. So you're hitting me up, and I'm like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And bang, now you're there. You go in, what happens?
My brew, Chris
How long-
reminded me to filter.
Yes, that's how I do it. I filter it like crazy.
I filtered this thing because when I did the first one in August, I didn't filter it. I stirred it and stirred all the stuff back up into it. And I didn't know because
McKenna
you
has
were
a
down.
story about that.
You were out cold for my first time. You gave me a little bit of advice, but you were just like, remember you were sleeping that day. So I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. I was like, oh, that must be all the good stuff.
I made that mistake once or twice, and then Chris was like, what are you doing?
It was a great experience. It just tasted horrible. My brew, however, tasteless. It was
delicious almost.
Oh,
Not well for a shaman.
Dude, it wasn't bad. It really, it didn't linger. It didn't give you that smack in your
that crappy bitterness and everything.
No grit. It was wonderful.
Yeah, mine is just like that. It's like a cup of brown life.
Yeah.
But there's no blah in it. Even though it, I can't explain it. You got to create your own to understand this compared to other people's.
I couldn't believe it because I've had brew from 2 different people, and I don't want to say mine was the best because
say it
because it wasn't.
It's not about being the best.
I know,
yours will.
But it was different. It was.
You're like
it was
honored.
mine. It was.
Yeah, to do your own. You did it. Alchemy at its finest. You painted a picture without a pen and without a board to draw on, right? Right. But you used everything around you for this creation to do that, and the reward is epic.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
I set up the way the amount of stuff that I used. I needed to drink 5 ounces of liquid.
Right.
So I drank 3 ounces, and I had another 2 waiting in the hole. I drank. I sat down and waited. No purge for an hour. No purge. So I was like, all right, might as well. But I felt that, like before you purge,
like it's
your body just hurts, and you just like
it's
feel
collecting
bad.
the bad things in you.
And I was worried too because the roux that I cooked up, drank that, no flavor, no effect. I felt normal
My
all the way up
roux
until.
tastes like ass.
No, it was great. It didn't, but it had I couldn't feel it. Usually, like every time I've taken roux before, you could feel that weirdness and then the light, the shimmeriness, and just
you get buzzed.
Yeah, this time it was
happening.
nothing till the very, very last couple minutes before I drank, and then the first was no purge. Then I drank the second cup, 2 more ounces, and I went and I laid down and I waited and I waited and I waited, and then it started. And I had to get off my bed and sit down, put my feet on the floor, and just look at the bucket. And I was like, "Oh no," because it was coming on like when you hit the DMT, and it's like that. And it just starts really.
The vibrations.
Yeah,
that's the frequency change. You're like, what's happening?
Well, that's what started happening.
It's like a rocket ship taking off.
But I hadn't purged, and I drank it, so it was already stronger than anyone that I've ever had before, and it was different. Amazing. It was like, oh my God, this is a smoke DMT experience. This is not a. And then I purged one quick bam, and that
Done.
was it. Yeah. And then I had a couple minutes. I had time to tie it up, walk in the other room, put it in the trash, wash my mouth, eat some orange, come back in the room and lay down. And for the next 3 hours, dude, I kept going within lucidity, and like I knew what was happening, and I could feel what was happening. But like I would wake up, and my hands would be in strange positions in front of my face, like weird mantras. My body would be writhing. A couple times, like every time I came to, I'd be like, "Thank you,
Almost like
you."
those weird Egyptian poses,
yes.
where you're like, the walk like an Egyptian move.
Yes.
That's the stretch out
how
move.
you see Ganesha like this? Like
yeah.
I would wake up and standing there in the room.
He was just on one leg doing like this slide thing.
Oh, and then or I'd wake up in the bed like doing these weird yoga stretches. And after my experience, I'm gonna go start yoga. I'm gonna find a yoga class and start doing yoga.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't afford that at first.
I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I went on YouTube and typed in basic yoga, did 3 poses until I was really good, and then went on to the next 3. And then now I have my own, I just want to hit my spots that I feel good. And I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, oh my. And I realized that my...
Jimmy's been telling me, oh, you don't stretch, so...
Yeah, you have to stretch. It's relevant. When I hurt myself, all the physical therapy worked. For... What they were trying to do was relieve it. I still had the injury because it's a bone injury and stuff on top of everything else. But wow, did it decrease everything. The pain and my flexibility was coming back. And I'm like, man, just from tilting my neck like this and then holding my hands up, outreach, straight up on your toes, hold 10 seconds, come down, take a deep breath, do it again. The people overlook that stuff. And I mean, you'll even see it in some of the channels. That guy, Bashar, the guy that is I think his name is Derek, is the guy that channels him.
Yeah, I think so.
He'll say, "Yo, don't get freaked out by my breathing," and then he'll go, and he'll start talking. Well, welcome everyone, and then you'll hear him go, but you don't see him doing that, but you hear it, and it's really odd. But you see his throat open and his chest open, and I'm going, whoa. And it's like the way the channel is getting the air is the way you're supposed to get air. It's like a pipe that runs from your head through your... You
know, that's weird because during my experience, I kept on noticing I was breathing very like in quietly, but out like... Yeah, very strange.
Yeah,
just
like breath of life.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, I'm taking it in, and I don't really need as much of it, by the way. I'm able to hold it. When I made my brew and was going under, I was having problems with holding my breath too long. That's why I always tell people, breathe. One thing you need to do is breathe. 3 minutes would go by, and people are still looking at me, and I start turning blue, but I still don't feel the need to breathe until the last second, and then instantly it tells me, "Don't, what are you doing? Breathe." And I'm going to go, "What?" And then I breathe, and I go, "Oh, what a dummy," and then I'm back in my body. Okay, let's get back to your experience.
Okay.
Okay. Tell us.
All right. Where was I? The yoga. Yeah, I kept coming back to lucidity, but then I would leave and go into like the full DMT looking patterns changing. But as I was doing that, it was talking to me. It was telling me. It was basically full self realization. I know who, what. Still no name, but I know who and what I am.
You know what's really funny? Jimmy got his name. I'm not saying his name. He has to tell people, but
my name is I Am. I don't have I don't know what it is, man.
We have the same name minus one
syllable,
one part of it. Same family and everything. And I've met others with that name where it's just one off or one on, you know. They're all titles, they're not names. Right. How do you, in a place like this, tell someone over there, hey, you can't go, I'm the I Am. They want to know, is that Frank? Is that this?
Right.
You know, so it's the man who walks in the world. You're so into your titles, Frank, we'll give you one. But now everyone will know When I show up, that character will be that guy.
Right.
You know, they are all Ra. It's a title. Elohim, the L, the angels, all that. That's the L in your name. People go, well, you watch too many Superman cartoons because Jor-El. Right. They're like, oh, what is that? And I go, they wrote that, meaning Elohim. They're aliens, extraterrestrials from another planet. Superman came from there and is like a Jesus character here. Bang, here we go. So how did the rest of the experience?
The rest of the experience, like I would get up. Sometimes I stand up, walk into the other room, and doing these weird, a lot, just trying to walk, just trying to get used to my body because I was getting all this stuff and the whole planet was shimmering. And I couldn't see very well, but something wanted me to walk around the house. I just wanted to get up. And I was like getting this influx of energy, and I was like, come on, more. Because you're like, when I run. I
can take more.
Like when I run, I was like, okay, I'm so tired. I feel like I'm going to fall down and die, but I'm like, I'm just going to run a little bit further this time. I'm just going to go a little bit further. So I was doing that with this energy that they were coming. I was like, no, keep going, more. I want to see how much I could take. And then I would get to a point where it all of a sudden drain out of me. And I almost fall down. It was very strange. It's like, and the more I took in, the less I could see, and the more the world was like, am I going to stroke out or what's happening here?
Am I going to stroke out? Yeah.
But then that would just drop me down. So I ran to the kitchen. I would eat like a banana or some grapes or something. And then I'd go lay down for a few minutes and then go back into this thing and start doing these weird freaking, I don't know, poses.
They're symbols and poses that unlock
and like these sliding Tai Chi weirdness. I'm like, and I don't do this.
I don't do any of this stuff.
I don't do this like dancing. I don't dance around the house.
I don't even know it. If someone said, for your life, do it right now, I'd be like, I don't know what you want me to do.
It's weird. And then it ended up like, after all that, there was dark something on the other side of the door. And I invited it to come closer so I could see it, but it didn't. It wouldn't. And I was like, and I just turned my back to it.
Right.
And walked away. And it's like I knew that it wouldn't because it couldn't because of what I am. I don't know. It doesn't come out of my mouth the right way.
Right. I kind of understand. You're not heading into the darkness.
Right.
You're giving it the back. You're like,
I'm not scared of the dark because I am the dark. As much as I am not.
The darkness isn't evil. It's what lies inside that is hidden and tries to stay hidden that is frightening.
Right.
So don't confuse darkness with evil. Darkness is you. I go into the dark. As a shaman, we love cats, right? We're cat beings as well. All right, so the dark comes down. People like you and I smile. Oh, it's time. I'm up all night, right? What's in the dark doesn't scare me. I'll come outside and punch you right in your face, right? But I don't wake up until 11 in the morning sometimes, 12 o'clock.
Right.
So I'm not really that day character. So in the night, I thrive. So, but there is stuff out there as you're walking around, even if you have your cat eyes. What happens when something sneaks up on a cat? It basically jumps and
straight up in the air.
Right up, straight up in the air. Man, I'm so proud of you, my brother. It's great to have you on the show. I know it's only an hour. We'll get you on maybe the podcast, and we'll do more of the show. Well, right now, I'm with Nick. He's your protection from deception. He has stepped to the plate. He is riding that new bio program and ready to rock and roll. Stick around. Beyond the Veil is up next. We are Fearless.